I think one of my biggest encouragements for search committees would be to be open to surprises, right? If you go in expecting that your pastor will look or sound or strike you as this particular mold, or they have to have these particular credentials, this track that they've been on in their professional career, then I think you're going to really limit your talent pool.
All pastors are different. We have a variety of experiences, but on appearance, we look different, we sound different, we're different. Just like our congregations are very different. And so when congregations are seeking a pastor that looks like the previous pastor or previous pastors, it's really doing that congregation a disservice to not take a chance on candidates that may not appear to look like the previous pastors, but also have the same drive and enthusiasm and heart for the Lord to move the congregation and to serve Jesus Christ with the congregation as the previous pastors. And so you will never know that if a pastor looks one way, but a candidate looks another way, can shepherd the congregation and encourage and move the congregation in the same path that the previous pastor was moving, unless you take a chance on that pastor. And so I would encourage all PNCs to consider, especially in the transitional pastor, someone who may not look or appear or sound or have the same experiences as the previous pastor, because you never know exactly the goodness you may be throwing away by not considering that person.
This is one of the wonderful things about being Presbyterian, and that is that there is a time between when the old minister leaves and when the new minister comes in. There is a time of transition. That time of transition is critical. It's time to really take a good hard look at who you are as a church and where you're going. And in that transition time, that gives the new minister coming in a new jumping off point. So they're not trying to fill a beloved's shoes, or worst case, there's somebody that really didn't work out and now they have to try and fix everything. That transition time is critical.
There's a difference between what you want and what you need as a congregation. All of our congregations need to be really intentional and thoughtful in thinking about what gifts and resources do we have, what breaks God's heart in our community, and what can we do about that? And then throughout those conversations and in prayer with the session, with the search committee, asking who can help us become who we are, right? What resources have we identified? How can we use them for the good of our community? So that we don't just call a good pastor and hope that everyone will flock to the church again.
Recognize that this is a transitional person. This is not your forever pastor. And so you don't have to put all of your eggs in this one basket, all of your hopes and dreams into this one person. This person is coming in for a specific time and duty. Let that person shine the way he, she, they need to shine for the health and well-being of your congregation.
I had the gift of following an incredible interim pastor. And what that made my experience onboarding like was unbelievably generous, and this gift and a chance to enjoy the onboarding of a new congregation, because I watched some friends and colleagues that did not exactly step into a season where there was a really gifted interim pastor to help prepare the way. And so I think that the chance to have someone there that, again, can take a hard look at what's going well, what's not going well, who can be honest about those things and help lead that congregation into that next season, then that is ministry. I mean, that is not something to be taken lightly.
The first thing is knowing that all churches are in a state of transition. Feel what you need to feel. Some people are going to be excited about the transition. Some people are going to be nervous about the transition. Some people are going to be really, really, really fearful or longing to go back to those times. But wherever you fall in that spectrum, just feel what you need to feel, but also embrace that the hand of God is moving in the whole process. I would say my best piece of advice is that the COM process is there for you. Use it. It is really a good tool for all of our congregations who are all in a series of transition. But in this particular case, in looking for a transitional pastor, it is hands down the best piece of advice. Start there, stay there, and finish strong.